Hi, good morning, good evening, whatever time you're watching me. Thank you for joining me again. Hope you've had a really good week. I hope you've had an interesting week, talking to your body, getting some feedback, um, talking to your body to see if you've got any allergies, and be really interesting to see how you're all feeling, and getting feedback from other people's stories. To share stories is how we learn from one another. Okay, so this week I wanted to talk about diet and food. So I get asked the question a lot, when, what am I supposed to eat? um Basically, don't take it too seriously. I know that was the first thing that I changed with the Lyme disease, was my diet. I cut out wheat or gluten. I cut out definitely sugars, and I lowered my meat intake. So people are surprised. People think, "Oh, when do you must be vegan. You must be veggie." And basically, I listen to my body, and it's whatever my body feels like it needs at the time. So collagen you do need for your ligaments, and that is in meat. It's your choice, it's your personal choice, whatever you eat. I only eat meat maybe once or twice a week. Some weeks I go without meat. We do need to be think consciously about our meat consumption, about the treatment of animals. Definitely. I know if I do eat meat, I try and get a really good cut of meat. I try and find out where it's farmed. I try and buy local if I can. And as I'm preparing the meat, I actually bless the meat. I actually thank the animal for its life. I thank the animal for its protein. Not everyone is going to agree with what I am saying here. That's fine. We all resonate with different things. There's an off button. If this puts you off, it puts you off. It doesn't resonate, and that is absolutely fine. So it's your choice. So I have done everything. I have done the veganism. I have done vegetarian, and I have been a carnivore as well. So I have done all of them. And for me personally, not eating the meat at certain times when my body needed it, it made me miserable. It made me unhappy. But it is possible to survive on a vegetable diet, and it is good. So I would say maybe keep your diet definitely around the 90% mark of veggies and fruits. Taste the rainbow, literally. I'll go back to sugars. Sugars, how can I put this? They're just evil. So they are more addictive than cocaine. They are hidden in so many foods. I remember when I was trying to really eat clean when I was really ill, and I was in the supermarket, and that was on a good day when I can actually get out of bed and drag my sorry body into the supermarket and try and concentrate on reading these labels, because reading at the time as well, nothing made sense. It's like all words just jumbled up. It just didn't go in. So I really appreciate where children with ADHD come from with this as well, because it was so frustrating. So I'm reading the labels, and it's really interesting where sugars appear. So maltodextrin is a sugar that's in a lot of like the sliced meats. So you'd think, oh, sliced meat, yeah, that's no sugar in, put that in my basket. And not to realise that actually it's still got forms of sugar in the maltodextrin. So just look out for all the different names as well, that sugar comes disguised as. Cereals, yeah. Cream crackers, they've even got sugar in. So the things that we would deem as not having sugar in, it was really surprised to see, wow, yeah, they've got sugars in. So at that time as well, I had really bad IBS, and candida as well. So basically the sugars were just feeding their candida. So basically we get candida overgrowth when we have too many heavy metals in our system. So it's Mother Nature's natural protection against being basically poisoned by the heavy metals. So we have this white matter that grows in the body to act as a barrier and help protect us. However, the white barrier makes it quite difficult for pathogens, bacteria, viruses and parasites to actually pass through the body. So it's a little bit of a double-edged sword. And also as well, it can be very uncomfortable. So I went sugar-free, and it did really help my digestive system, and it also helped with the brain fog. It helped with lots of symptoms. So sugar-free really helped. The gluten, okay. So gluten and wheat products. So many of the wheat products that we've got today, unless organic, will contain pesticides. If they've got pesticides in it, they've got mercury in it. So obviously if you're sensitive to heavy metals, it's going to be a bit of a problem. The gluten-free aisle, really interesting. So there's all these products, and kind of like when your diet is a little bit skinny anyway, you go to that free from aisle and you're like, oh, look at all these goodies. You know, you're like a kid in a sweet shop. Oh, are all these things that I can eat? Then you start running through the ingredients on the products. Sugars. So it may be gluten-free, but it's high in sugar, and you're like, oh, can't have that one. So rice flour as well. So if it's white rice that's being used, again, they will have used a pesticide on the rice. So white rice as well is a little bit of a no-go, because there's mercury in white rice. Brown rice, fine. Doesn't tend to be as, whether it's the bleaching process that so mercury is involved in the bleaching process in some way. I'm not a chemist, so I don't fully understand that. I just know that white rice, my gut didn't like. Brown rice, it was fine, but we're all different, so kind of like test these out. Also as well, carbs at that point, carbs turn to sugar in your system. So again, it's kind of looking at your carb intake as well. So your carbs are your breads, your potatoes, your wheat type products. They would all be carbs. Pastas, they would all be classed as carbs in the body. Again, if you're trying to heal, then carbs as well, so lower those sugars. So not intaking as many carbs can lower the sugar. Now this way of eating isn't forever. It should be just short term until you've managed to get some equilibrium back into your body. So it isn't forever, it's just short term. Because the body, once it's balanced, will be able to take absolutely anything on board really and get nutrients out of it. And you will find that you can eat anything. I can eat anything now, and it's fine. It doesn't affect me. My body has managed to regain some of that equilibrium. But foods are really important. Okay. Think caveman. If there's a list of ingredients as long as your arm, you don't even understand what they are, and they look all chemical based, don't touch it. It's simple. So fruits, vegetables, brilliant. Taste the rainbow. Can't get enough of them. Some really good sites I found was thecandidadiet.com, Live, Love, Nourish. There are lots of sites out there. There are more sites out there than there were when I first started. So please look for these, so look out for recipes. And again, if I had a day where I had a little bit of energy, I'd make things in batches and freeze them. So if I was having a bad day where I didn't have any energy and I literally couldn't stand up on my feet to make family dinner, then I'd get something out of the freezer and I just, there you go. Eventually the whole family kind of did start kind of going sugar free, and we cut down on the gluten. The children, they're still going to want the odd lollipop and the odd piece of cake. The kids, that's fun, and even adults do as well. So for children as well, yeah, I mean, if you've got children that are prone to colds and things like that, cutting out sugars for them for short periods. You know, you can always have sugar Sundays where, you know, they can have a treat on a weekend or things like that. So cutting it out completely for children is really, really harsh. So alcohol. If you're healing, don't touch alcohol. It will lower your immune system. Black liquids, drinking black liquids will lower your immune system. Stick to herbal teas that are light. Water. Water is the best thing to nourish the body. It's what your cells are made of. It's what it's going to love. So, diet. Really important. We are what we eat. So I will leave that with you. Again, you can start off with 7 days. So just have a 7-day detox, sugar-free, gluten-free, dairy-free, obviously dairy as well. So the only dairy that I actually was eating at that time as well was natural Greek yogurt, because I found that was the only thing that helped my probiotics. I've had clients come in that take probiotics. So when I say test, it's not conventional. So it's not conventional testing. So I will try to clarify this. I'm a bioresonance therapist. So basically I test frequencies and energies within people's bodies or foods or whatever it is that, you know, I can test. So it's not conventional testing. So with legality purposes, you know, they would say it's a pseudoscience. You can't take this as gospel truth, but it's whatever your gut is resonating towards. Use your own research and inner guidance on this one. So when I was testing people that actually take probiotics, their gut fauna is never balanced, and I couldn't work out, they're taking these probiotics that are supposed to be so good for us, why is the gut still unbalanced? When I tested them, they contained mercury. So, and I haven't found one yet that basically can balance the gut. I'm really sorry to all those kind of like probiotic providers out there, but I haven't found one yet. So the only thing that I've found is natural Greek yogurt seems to be the best one. And when people stop taking those off-the-shelf probiotics, their gut fauna actually reads as normal in testing. So just to put out there as well that about probiotics. Goat's cheese. Goat's cheese is a natural antifungal. So those were the only cheeses, the only dairy products that were coming into my body at that time. When I was starting to broaden my intake of dairy, I did start with hard cheeses because hard cheeses just have apparently less lactose content in them, and I found that the hard cheeses were okay and didn't seem to affect me. If I was kind of like eating other cheeses, I found that they would really affect my hormonal system. So that was my journey, that was my experiences. So I went more or less dairy free as well. Again, short term, give yourself 7 days, sugar free, dairy free, meat free, taste the rainbow, fruits, veg, see how you go on 7 days. I will warn you, by day 4 you may start to feel, oh, I feel terrible. You might start to feel a bit fluid and you think, oh, this is, you're detoxing, it's all part of the process. By day 7, however, you think, yeah, I'm you know, I'm on it, I'm ready to rule the world at this rate. And it's really interesting that you don't want to go back to the other way of eating because you felt really sluggish before. Now you're kind of like, you've detoxed and you've got all this energy. So that is the process that I found. That is the process that other people report back to me, that when they do it. So I'll leave you with foods and diet for this week. 7 days. Give yourself, have a go at it, try it, see how you go on it, be kind to yourself, and see how you go. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening, so much for your patience. Enjoy your week. Love you all.